Hey all, Hipper here. So today I have yet another video for you here on, the annoyance of battleships in this game here. And this battle here, I am playing the Yoshino, and I do believe I have an agile build on the ship. I honestly can't remember, but judging from the turning here, it does look that I do. So we have, the map here, and we get the open spawn over here at sea, and there's no less than 2 Shimikazes in the sea cap, and we still have a battleship moving in. So yeah, that's the first hint as to this is probably not going to be a good battle. So if you notice the first battleship heading into the sea cap with 2 Shimikazes in it, and look at the other 2 battleships there, they're sitting like behind islands with no real way of hitting the enemy, and that's the main problem in this battle here. At least the battleship out on the flank is actually making an effort, but you see here in a minute, because that battleship in the middle is going to get torped, obviously. He kind of loses his nerve and then he turns around, which is obviously a huge mistake. Once you turn around like that in a battleship, you have given up the flank, pretty much. But the real problem in this battle here is the other battleship, the one right next to me behind the island, because he snuggled up to that island immediately and he doesn't have a shot at anyone from there. Only if the Reds are in like certain positions, he's actually able to get maybe one gun off, and that's just not enough. And it's plays like that that just makes people, at least myself, yell to the moon about the general battleship play in this game here. And notice this is legendary tier, but we all know that it doesn't necessarily mean by going up higher in the tiers that the gameplay improves. Unfortunately, it should be that way, but that is definitely not the situation in World of Warships Legends. So my destroyer is doing an admirable job here. I can't push in anymore, but he is spotting the Shima. And all I have to do is just wait until I get a shot at that Shima there, and then help him out. So the island battleship here, let's call him that, he actually got a shot at the Shima there, but he missed. And you just don't do that. You get that shot once in a game, and at that distance he should have nailed that Shima. But it's okay, I will finish him off, and at least we got one of the Shimas out. But there's a few of them in this game here, and there's obviously still one in the cap, and my destroyer took a beating there, and he's gonna get railed by a Yamato here in a second. So yeah, that kind of leaves us in a bad position on this flank here. And if you haven't noticed yet, then the 2 Yamatos over here, they're in a division, so they are, willing. They're using the will to build or will to rebuild perk, which is ridiculous. And you'll see later in the battle how they just abuse that mechanic to push and just simply roll over us here. It's not entirely their fault. I mean, like I said, the battleship behind me is playing an awful game. He's not in a position to do enough damage, and the position he's in, the only thing he can shoot at is other bow tanking battleships, and that's not gonna win you the game, especially when you're up against 2 battleships. So yeah, this is looking bad. So over on the A flank, there's also a fair bit of potatoing going on. If you look, the destroyer is more interested in torping the enemies than actually grabbing the A cap. And also, it looks like he's kind of leaving that red destroyer by itself. And I mean, that battleship is just, easy target for that destroyer. And he's even asking, hey, can you, help me out here? I mean, if I was over there, I would help him, but I'm like a world away. And we're dealing with our own problems over here, because as you can tell, the battleship behind the island still hasn't moved at all. And look at Chicago's finest here. He's down to probably 10% health, but because of will to rebuild, he's just gonna go straight back up to 20. And I cannot sink this guy without the alpha damage of a battleship. I can set fires and fires and fires, but unless I get 2 fires, 2 perma fires, I can't remove him. and it's quite a problem. And then, of course, torpedoes will do it, but it's going to be hard to get hits from this distance here with torpedoes. And the two battleships here are obviously not aware, or they're not running will to rebuild, but I'm guessing they're not aware of the perk and what it does, because otherwise, if they stuck together and actually fought that upcoming push that's coming now, we might actually be able to do something here, because now is the critical time. The A flank is gone. It's just a matter of time before that last ship gets wiped. And if we don't push now and grab this cap here, we're gonna get flanked. And the battleships seem like blissfully unaware of our impending doom here. And still, that guy in the battleship hasn't moved at all, not 1 inch from behind his island, where he's unable to do anything useful at all. So the Alaska is pushing the flank, or will be in a little bit. That's why I'm repositioning here behind the island, because I'm gonna get spotted out there, and with 2 Yammies shooting at me, I'm gonna be removed fairly quickly. I'm down to less than half health, so I need some backup here. And here we have the scoundrel just sitting there. He's been sitting there the whole game. He doesn't care at all about, you know, how the battle actually unfolds. And he doesn't make any adjustments at all. So Chicago's finest, he's down to 10% again. But as I said, with will to rebuild, that doesn't matter at all. Because you will need a citadel, or at least 2 citadels from battleship guns to remove this guy. And his friend is still at 2/3 health, so he'll be able to will him a long time to go. And now they are initiating their push, and the Alaska is going out on the flank, and this is, you know, this is the win or lose moment here. Well, actually, the win and lose moment was 2 minutes ago when I said that we had to make a push on this flank here, because you can see we're losing the B flank now, and that battleship, after grabbing that middle cap there, is obviously going to flank us. And like I said, the battleships seem completely unaware of this. They don't have any ability to read this match at all. And they're just sitting there. And the other battleship is, like I said, he went to the island all the way on the right, which is a pretty good position if he could just hold it. But he panicked and turned around, and he's just been fleeing ever since. And yeah, that's not gonna help. So, I mean, I'm doing my best to burn down these guys here. We got this guy here down to 1/3 health now. So that helps. But as long as they can will to rebuild, there is no stopping this push here. And look at that little sneaky destroyer there, trying to torp us from the little corner there. Very smart. So I've lost my faith at this point here. I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna move on in the battle, and I'm gonna take this Alaska here with me, because those 2 willing Yamatos, we can't stop them. That battleship just behind me, he's gonna get flanked in just 30 seconds or something like that, and he can't do anything, because as you can see, the 2 Yamatos, they're down there and they're still willing. Look at them, both at 20%. Just hoping to get the shimmer, but didn't work out. So we'll shoot some torps at the Alaska, and we'll call it a day, and then we'll hopefully get into a new match where, you know, battleship players at legendary tier actually know what they're doing. Because of course this is not every battleship player playing with their head under their arm like this. But when it happens, it's pretty much a certain defeat. So we got the Alaska, and we ended up at 217,000 damage. But no win here. You can't win when battleships play like this. Look at the last battleship as well. All the way at the white line, thinking that, like, leaving the perfect flanking spot all the way out on the right side is preferable to running away and then getting stuck as far away from the action as you possibly can get. So anyway, I mean, battles like this, it comes with the territory. It's part of World of Warships Legends. Look at the 2 willing boys there, 20% again. And you just have to live with it, but it is still incredibly frustrating. So anyway, let's look at the scoreboard here. And 220, and with a high caliber. nearly 2,000 XP in a loss, and we'll just add the real XP as usual. So hope you enjoyed it, and see you out there.